After 10 years of building our last company, raising $60 million in venture capital, and almost selling the company for over $300 million, we lost it all. This story is hard for me to tell, so I had to sit down. In 2022, we had a short video platform called Rizzle, which was very popular in some parts of the world. We had 80 million downloads, and it was number 3 on Google Play in India, just behind Facebook and Instagram. By mid-2022, we had multiple M&A offers, and the one we took and signed the term sheet was over $300 million. Within 48 hours of us signing the term sheet, the markets crashed in the US, and the buyers walked away from the deal. There were a few other strongly interested potential buyers, and we spent the next several months talking to them, but then everyone kind of figured out that our other term sheet went away and decided to wait it out to see if we would run out of money. By the end of 2022, it became very clear that if we had to survive, we had to pivot. So while at the peak of our success, we had to execute a very painful pivot. When I say a short video platform, imagine very much like TikTok. We were the first ones to have prompt-based videos, very much like TikTok Q&A, which came later. Running a platform like that was very, very expensive because we had not yet started monetizing with ads, and we were at least 18 months away from that. Which meant at the time we would have to raise $50 to $100 million to continue to grow and keep everything running. This was practically impossible to do at the time when everyone had lost faith in the advertising-driven business model. So we went to our board and pitched that we had to pivot to survive. And they agreed, which is great, but we pivoted without resetting our cap table, which was the single biggest mistake in our entire journey. I should mention that we didn't really have the best board in the history of startups. Most of them did not understand our business or the products we were building. They were also very much in it for themselves rather than the company itself. This meant that the investors optimized for valuation and optimized to keep their positions on the cap table, which I learned later on are both terrible things to do. As first-time founders, we didn't really know too much about the downfall of doing that, but it is pretty much doomsday. So when that happened, it virtually became impossible for us to raise money from anybody new. Despite all that, we took the money that our investors gave and went off and executed a really tough pivot. We became one of the earliest text-to-video platforms to use generative video and convert articles into videos using stock media. So just like that, we had become a B2B platform trying to sell to publishers. We actually had a decent amount of success in that, but our lack of ability to raise new funding from new good investors became our death sentence. So mid last year, our investors decided it was time to replace me as CEO, and they brought in a partner from one of the investment firms around the table. Mind you, prior to this, there was absolutely no indication from anyone on the board that they were unhappy with the founders whatsoever. There was so much that went on, it's impossible for me to capture it all in one video. I'll have to just tell the story over time. Despite all this, the founders decided to stick around and try to make things work, so my co-founder and I continued for a few months, hoping to work with the new guy and trying to make things work. We only had the best interests of the company in mind. We wanted to do the best we can to make a return especially for our angel investors and our team members who had put so much hard work into the company. But within a couple of months, it became the most toxic environment I had ever worked in. The culture that we had brought into the company was all gone. We operated with super transparency, no hierarchy. The founders worked with every single one in the company directly all the time. And this turned into a hierarchical, political, super toxic situation. The team started losing their confidence, and it just became a draining day-to-day existence. So one day last September, I woke up and realized two things. One, my confidence that we can succeed suddenly had plummeted down. And two, I didn't want to wake up every day to a toxic existence. And so I left. 10 days later, my co-founder also realized the same thing and also ended up leaving. Within 3 months of our leaving, the management of our previous company executed a reverse 10:1 stock split to throw us out of the cap table. So anything that we had in the company, wiped out. There are so many lessons we can take away from our experiences, but if there is one thing I will leave you with, treat choosing your investors exactly the same as choosing a co-founder. They're in it for the long term with you. They're in it through your toughest times. So make sure you're adding the people you really want by your side.